Hey guys, welcome back to another month of Wine Club. We're moving into February, moving right along. Thank you so much for your support. Once again, I can't do it without you guys. So this month we're doing an Old World versus New World comparison of Pinot Noir. So just as last month, we're gonna do who, what, where, when, why, and how, and we're gonna rip through these. So wine number one, we're doing the Burgundy. Who? That's the producer, Domaine Rene Leclerc. What? Pinot Noir is the grape, like we just said. Where? From Burgundy. On the label, it's going to read as Bourgogne, which is Burgundy. This is a region in France that does Pinot Noir for the reds and Chardonnays for the white. When? That's the vintage. This is 2016. Kind of a tricky vintage. A lot of hail, a lot of frost. Less wines were produced. Probably going to up the prices a little bit more from this year. We'll see. Why? Well, they've been making Pinot Noir in this region for over 1,000 years. That's what they do. That's what they've known to do in this region. Through multiple trial and error, they figured out that this is where Pinot Noir does the best job at making wine. And how? Lastly, right? Minimal intervention, very hands-off approach, no new oak, really focused on the purity of the fruit. Okay, cool. So let's jump into tasting the wine, right? As you recall from last month, FEW, fruit, earth, and wood. You can use the same approach for the nose. So I definitely recommend sticking your nose into the wine and seeing what you get, and then compare it to see if there's anything different from when you taste the wine. So on the nose, you get these beautiful kind of dried rose petal aromatics that come out. It's pretty intense, a little bit of minerality, no vanilla or no sweetness really coming out of the nose. Let's move into the palate. So on the palate, one of the first things that jumps out of me, right, apart from the FEW, is the structure. So the body, tannin, acidity. This wine is drying out my mouth. It's making me pucker on the sides of my mouth, and there's a little bit of tannin. The tannin is low, but really the dryness is coming from the acidity that's so high in this wine. And a lot of dry fruit components are what's hitting me over the head right away. So for the fruit, you're getting this kind of dry cherry note, dry black cherry, dry strawberry, right? The floral notes, again, a very kind of dry rose petal aromatics coming out of this wine, but it's very pretty. It's very lively and it's very elegant. Minerality is this kind of like underlying clay component, maybe like a dry chalkiness that comes through in the wine. And then no presence of wood because there's no oakiness. This was all aged in neutral oak barrels. So I would say, to recap this wine, that this is a light-bodied, very dry but very elegant style of Pinot Noir, very dry red fruit components like dried cherry, dried strawberry, a little bit of underlying minerality like clay, and that's it. Cool, let's move into wine number two. Okay, so the second wine today is from Anthill Farms. Let's talk about it. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. So the who is Anthill Farms. What? Pinot Noir, New World. They make it very easy. It's listed on the label for you right here. Where? Anderson Valley. It's in Northern California, part of Mendocino County, north of San Francisco, north even of Sonoma. When? 2018. That's the vintage, a really good vintage for Pinot Noir out of Northern California, out of Sonoma. Why? Well, being a cool climate region, they do cool climate grapes. Pinot Noir is one of them. That's why Pinot Noir is a blending grape in Champagne, France. That's why they're growing it here in California. Lastly, how? So they're doing 15 to 20% whole cluster fermentation, meaning they grab the bunches of grapes that have some stems on them, throw them into the fermentation tanks. It adds a lot of richness and concentration to the wine. And they also use about 10 to 15% new French oak, which is gonna add structure and a little bit of tannin to the wine. Let's see how much. All right, so let's dip into it. Okay, FEW, right? Fruit, earth, and wood. Right away, sticking my nose into this glass, the aromatics are crazy intense. They're very lifted. There's a very high concentration of fresh red fruit and this kind of candied cherry, candied red fruit component. But let's dig in a little bit and see what we get. Man, okay, this wine is intense. The fruit components are through the roof. Very intense red cherry, strawberry, black cherry, paired with non-fruit components of black licorice, red licorice, strawberry Twizzlers, like a little candy pack you used to get at the shop. It's jumping out of the glass. This is a fruit-dominant wine, but very elegant, very well kept together. Earth, I'm not really getting any earth on this wine, so no need to mention it. Wood, yes, there's a little bit of this vanilla component, right? This sweet, oaky component that comes through. It's subtle, but it's there. How would I wrap up this wine? This is a medium body, very intense, fruit forward, red fruit forward, black cherry, strawberry, Twizzler components, but very elegant, lifted aromatics with beautiful acidity. That'd be my quick take on this wine. Those are the wines, guys. Let me know what you think. As always, let me know if you have any feedback, any questions. You gotta make the Zoom call. We're gonna have representatives of the Burgundy and from Anthill Farms on this Zoom. It's gonna be the best one yet. So let me know what you think. I'll talk to you soon.